This is part 5, my employment with Walmart. This is my first week of employment from August 17th when I started to August 30, that is the first check or the first period. This is how much money I made in that period, about 2 weeks. The check is September 6th, and we are going to see how to break. As you can see, there is no mileage here. They say mileage, yes, they pay something like $400 for training, but there is no miles driven or maybe mentoring. That is how much I got for the mileage. That was during the mentoring. The layover, which means when you sleep in the truck, it's $84. 84, you get paid every night $42. That means that is 2 nights of layover. Walmart is unique in paying you when you sleep in the truck. The hook, $59.50 when you hook to a trailer. How many hooks are those? We'll find out later. When you stop, that is $19. How many stops we don't know yet. Because this is the first week, so I have no idea how to break it down. When you have live unload, that is $46. Training new driver, when you get trained as a new driver, they pay you $980. As you see, Walmart is very rich, so they are very good in paying you for everything from training, computer programming. Look at that, you get hook, you get layover, you get the mileage, you get the stop, you get live unload. Unscheduled time, which means you worked for something and you were not supposed to or you did not expect. That is how much you get paid. When you arrive, how many stops would that be? $14, $41. When you arrive and the drop, that's $71. That is a very decent amount of money, $1,700 for doing nothing almost. The first week was Walmart. And that is the year to date, because that's the first week. That's how much I made in 2 weeks. In the first 2 weeks I got to Walmart. That is the federal tax, social security tax, Medicare tax, the Utah tax, or the state tax. That is the total amount of tax, and that's the year to date. So how much money I got paid in my checking account? I got paid that much, about $1,316.43. My next week of employment from August 31st to September 13, 2019, that is the date of the check. So you get paid every 2 weeks. That's how much I made in these 2 weeks. That's how much I got in my checking account. That is not how much I made. This is a net that was given, that was deposited in my checking account. Let us break it down. $42 regular, we don't know. Yes, I think that's 42 means layover, slept in the truck. Here the mileage is very good. That is 1,512. You are not going to know where did you go because you work for Walmart. So they don't put the geography, the location where you went, because you're going to the stores and coming back to the DC. That is how much layover. You divide that amount, the $252, by $42 per night. That gives you about 6 times 2, that is 12. 6 times, that is 6 nights. That is 6, that equals to 6. That is the layover. The hook is very decent. $144. You cannot get that with Creed or Swift or any of the cheap guys. That is how much stops you get for the stop. That is a stop and the drop, $9.50. That is live unload. They stack you very good, so you get plenty of compensation. There is no training here. There is no training of a new driver, but that is zero. Unscheduled time, $15.40. Arrive, $20.50. So, so you get very decent amount of money in 2 weeks. In these 2 weeks, that is how much net. I get $2,243.40, and that's the year to date. The taxes so far only now in 1 month, that paid total $853 in taxes. In that 2 weeks only, I did $450 in taxes. So when you net it out, the net that was deposited in my account in these 2 weeks, $1,217.80. That is a net. But as you can see here, you are making more than that. You're making almost over $1,000 a week. In my third week, from September 14th to September 27th, that is the date of the check, October 3rd, 2019. That is the net I got deposited in my bank account. How do you break it down? Mileage, look at how much you get in only 2 weeks. You get $1,835. We mileage, I forgot what is, I think that is Walmart mileage. That is $91 something. Layover, that is a huge amount because that is 2 weeks. That's about 10 days, under 10 days. It is 10 days, but you're only sleeping in the truck 4 days. Multiply 4 times 2 times $42 per night. That is 2, which costs 2 weeks. 4 nights. That is 8 times 42. 8 times 2, that's 16. That's 6, and you have 1. 8 times 4, that's 32, and 1, that's 33. Is that correct? That is if it's 8. But that is not 8. That looks like it is 9. Yes, I think that is 9 nights. So this number was 9. Because 9 times 2, that's 18. 9 times 4, that's 36, and 1, that is 37. Yes, so that is 9 nights. That is 9 nights of sleeping in the truck. And that is how much hooking you're getting for hooking to a trailer. And that is when you stop. What does stop mean? Stop mean when you stop but you don't hook and unhook. Stop and drop, you get 0. Live load, you get $23. Live unload, there is 0. Training, $49. Why do you get $49? Because you have a course on the computer. Training, $49 or something. New trainer is 0. Unscheduled time is $40. Arrive for 0. Arrive and drop. Arrive and drop, $328. Look at how decent these numbers are. $328 only when you arrive and drop. When you hook, that is how much you get for the hook. So you arrive and drop, you get paid. You hook, you get paid. The taxes are the same for items, the federal, the social, the Medicare, the state, and that is how much you make so far for the taxes, and that's how much I got deposited in my bank account. On September 28th to October 11th, that is the date of depositing the check. That is 10/17/2016. That's how much I got in my as a net pay for 2 weeks. Stop and drop, 0. Live unload, 0. There are a lot of zeros here. Training 0, that is 0. So what happened? What happened is that we're starting sprinting. Look at how the mileage here is $2,421. But it doesn't tell you where did you go. Remember something, Walmart, here they pay you 47 cents per mile. But they compensate you here. They compensate you, look at that here, we mileage $900.26. That's Walmart mileage. Layover, you have 4 nights. Every night, now we have more details now. $42 a night. That's how much you make for layover. It's a hook. Now you start learning something new. You get $11 per each hook. No, that is units. That is 11 hooks. And that is $8.50 per hook. When you multiply, that's the total you make in these 2 weeks for hooking the trailer. Unscheduled, you get that much, 1.7 units. And that is how much you get paid when you multiply the rate, 1.7 times 14, that gets you this much. We have 11 drops, arrive and the drop. Multiplying by 10, that is how much you get for the arrive and the drop. And that is the mileage now. Now we have more details, but strange details here. Not strange at all, because this is 1 week. Right here. You can see the date here ending October 4th. This is another week in the bottom. So we are going to have a fat second week of the same period. That is the second week. That is the mileage, how many miles. That is the rate. That's how much I get paid for that week only. That is the Walmart mileage. That's like an extra 0.06. I don't know what it means. That is the layover 4 days. That is the net for layover in that week. 9 hooks. That is how much you get paid for hooking for that week. 1 stop. That is how much you get. 2 live unload. That's how much you get. 4 unscheduled time. That's how much you get. 4 units. Each unit is $14. You arrived once. That's how much you get. You arrive and drop 9 times. That's how much you get. So total for 2 weeks. That is your gross in 2 weeks. That is year to date so far. The taxes so far, the same items of tax. That's how much you pay taxes. That is the year to date taxes. That is the net deposit in my checking account. That is the week that start October 12th. That is the date of the check, October 31st. That's how much I got deposited in my bank account. Here there are some deductions. Before we start for the week, what are the deductions? Insurance. Yes, we started insurance. Limited insurance, intermediate insurance, like long-term insurance. That's how much you get paid. Deduction when you have a different kind of insurance. Another 401k. Now we're starting getting spoiled. Start getting 401k contribution. Only 2 weeks I contribute $600. That is my beginning of 401k. HSA, that is some kind of health stuff. Accident, I think that's accident insurance. And that's accident something. I don't know what that means. That is vision insurance. Now, the first week and the second week. The first week the mileage were $1,000, $1,104. That is how many miles I drove for that week. That is Walmart mileage of $56. 4 nights of layover, $168. $93 for the hook. Unscheduled time, $31. Arrive and drop, $112. The unique difference between Walmart and everybody else is here. All these items right here, you don't get paid that much for any other company. You don't get paid for the layover, for the hook, for unscheduled time, for the drop. You get enormous amount of compensation with Walmart because it is a private fleet. Look at the next second week. I made more miles. I have more. That increases a little the Walmart mileage. For a meeting, I get $50. Over $168. Hook 34. Stop 19. Live unload 23. Unscheduled time $7 and arrive $10. So the total for that week was $3,000. That would be a constant number 3,000. And the taxes so far was 718. That's how much I got in deposited after the deductions. Now we are in the week that starts October 26th to November 8th. That is the date of deposit. November 14th. That is the net I have after all the deductions. The deduction, also the insurance, all this kind of insurance, that's how much I contribute these 2 weeks for 401k. All these are the accident stuff. That is the net for this kind of deduction. As you see here, there is nothing done here in this segment. That is the first week of that 2 periods. And this week, that's how much I made for the mileage. That's the Walmart mileage. That is the layover. That is the hook, the stop, the regional day. A regional day means you work in a place, you work in California, for example. You get extra dollar for working in a region that is not yours. That is life unload. That is training. That's unscheduled time. That is arrive. That's arrive and drop. The second week of that period, that is how much I made in mileage, Walmart mileage, layover, the hook, the stop, the regional day, the live unload, unscheduled time, and the arrive. That is the total I made in 2 weeks before deduction. That is how much I contributed in taxes. That is the net after paying even including the 401k. That is how much I made year to date net pay. That is the net pay, but that's the gross. 16,000 almost in a very short time. We now in November 9th, 2019. That is the date of depositing the check. That is the net I made. It increased a little bit now. We are in November now. The deductions are increased a little. As you see, I paid more here for 401k. Some other stuff. I think the other numbers are the same. This segment has nothing in it. The safety bonus. That is a decent amount of safety bonus. We try to spoil you. $500 and $33 as a safety bonus. 2 months. We go now to the first week of that period. That is how much I made in mileage. That is Walmart mileage. That is meeting. 5 hours of meeting. 5 hours. That's how much you make in 5 hours. That is layover. That is hook. That is training. Another training. That is the unscheduled time. And that is the drop. In the second week of the same period, that is how much I made in mileage. That is for mileage, layover, hook, unscheduled time, arrive and drop, and that is the total I grossed in these 2 weeks, 3,600 approximately. We always make about 7,000 a month. As you see, the taxes here are more. That is the year-to-date taxes. That is how much I got in my check. I choose to contribute to the 401k. In November 23rd, that is the date of depositing the check, the December 12th. That's how much I got in my bank account. Here's the 401k intermediate between the other two. There is nothing here to mention in that segment. In the first week of that period, that is mileage, Walmart mileage, layover, hook, scheduled time, drop. The second week, mileage, Walmart mileage, layovers more here. Look at here, there is more because here there are 5 days. Here there are 4 days. So when you have 5 days, you get paid more for sleeping in the truck. That is the hook, that's unscheduled time, and that is arrival. See, the unscheduled time here is beautiful, $100 something, $166. That is taxes contribution. That is the net to date. This is the net. This is the net in 4 months, not the gross. The gross is right here. We are now in the last week of December 2019. The first year for me was Walmart. This is how much money I got deposited in my bank account. Again, here there is nothing to mention. This is the 401k, and the rest are the regular health insurance deductions. This is the first week. This is the second week. That is the mileage. It's much more here now because I almost 3,000 miles that week. How many days I stayed in the truck? 4 days, as you can see. Because that's how much I get for layover. And that's how much I get for the mileage. That is the wee mileage. That is the hook. That is the life unload. That is the training. Unscheduled time. Arrive and the drop. The second week of that period. That is the mileage. The wee mileage. The layover. That is 5 days. That is the hook. That is the regional pay, because I went to another region. That is the unscheduled time, arrive and drop, and that is the total I made gross for the 2 weeks. That is the deduction taxes for the 2 weeks, and that is the net I got in my deposit. That is the net I have after all the deduction, but that is the net you have for the gross. That is the net. That is the gross. Gross means before the deduction. We are now in the beginning of 2020. That is the date of the check. And that's how much I got as the net payment for my bank account after the deduction. We started here. That period is now reduced to nothing. There is a contribution for 401k here, and that is the first week of these 2 periods. That is the miles dropped a little. The wee miles dropped. The layover is only 3 days. Probably there is a day off or something here. So that is the hook. That is the life unload. That's the unscheduled. Look at the unscheduled time. That is enormous. $168. I forgot what is the problem. Anyway, that's the arrive, and that is the arrive and the drop. In the second week of the period, the miles dropped. That dropped too. The layover is the same. That's 7 hooks, 1 stop drop, 1 life unload, a fraction of unscheduled time. That is 2 arrives. That's 2 arrive and drop, and that is how much I made in those 2 weeks. The tax deductions here are less, and that is the year to date for the new year, 2020. That is the net I got in my bank account. We are now in January 17th, at the end of it. That is the date of the check. That's how much I got deposited in my bank account. That is the 401k contribution. Here, you have something here. Yes, you have a beautiful wall. That is PTO pay. That is when they pay you when you go on vacation. That is paid time of 70 hours. Every hour, $28.47. That's a very decent amount of pay. This is how much I got paid for paid time off. It's 1,000. That means I went away on a vacation. Or no, let us see what happened. Because there is no first week here. Yes, that week I did not work. But I get paid this much money because the paid time off. The second week I worked a little. That's how much money I get paid for the mileage. That is only 1 day layover, which means I took some time off. That's how much I get paid. That is how much I made in these 2 weeks after not working for 1 week. That is the year to date. That's the deduction. Those are the taxes for these 2 weeks. That is the net paid for these two. We are now in January, the last week of January. That is the date of the deposit, February 6th. That's how much money I got in my bank account. There is 401k. There is no activity here. That is the first week of this period. The miles here increased a little, but not much. Walmart miles. Layover, we are back to normal now. That is the hook, that's the unscheduled time, and that is the drop, arrive and the drop. The second week, that is the mileage, Walmart mileage, layover, hook, arrive and drop, and that's how much net for these 2 weeks. That is the total for the taxes for the contribution for these 2 weeks. That is the net for these 2 weeks. That is the net to date. It's 2020 now. February 14th, that is the date of the check. That's how much money I got deposited in my bank account. That is another batch pay. That is 30 hours of paid time off. That's the rate here is $28 per hour, 28 and 38 cents. How much money I got paid for the paid time off? I contributed that much for the 401k, and the first week the miles were that much. Only 2 days I stayed in the truck. I have 2 hooks and 2 arrive and the drop. The second week, that is how much I made for the miles. That is how many miles I drove. The Walmart mileage, that is how much you get paid for it. That is the rate over 2 days only, which means I took some time off. That is the hook, that is unscheduled time, and that's how much I got paid for these 2 weeks. Those are the taxes, that's the tax contribution. That is the net for these 2 weeks, and that is the net for the year. We are at the end of February 2020, that is March 5th check. That is the net deposit in my bank account. The first segment is empty. That is the 401k. That is the first week of this period. That's how much money I made. Look at the mileage here are getting better now. The wee miles, the layover, the hook, the stop drop, live unload, unscheduled time, arrive, and drop. Second week of that period, the miles are almost regular. That is as expected. The layover 4 days. That is the hook, and that is the live unload. That is the train new driver. That's 1 unit. Some kind of training on the computer. That is the unscheduled time. That is 9 arrive and the drops. How much you get it? So this is getting now back to the 3,000 something rate. And those are the deductions, the tax deduction. That is the tax contribution for these 2 weeks, and that is the net after deduction. We are now in March, almost the middle of March. That is the date of the check. See here is getting much better, 1,700. That's the net. That segment is empty. That is 401k increased again a little. That is the year-to-date insurance only, health insurance. That is the 2-week health insurance. That's a lot of money to pay for health. No, that's including the 401k. That is the first week, and that is the second week. The first week, the miles are not bad. Walmart miles are okay. The layover is okay. The hooks are 11. The unscheduled time is not bad. The arrive and the drop is 10 of them. 10 arrive and drops. 4 days sleeping in the truck. The second week, the miles are not bad also. That is the wee miles. That is the 4 meetings. 4 units in meeting. That is unique. 4 units in meeting, that is how much you get for the 4 units. That is the over 5 days. That is increased a little, increase it more than here. That is the hook, that is our scheduled time, that is the amount of money I made gross in these 2 weeks. When you make more money, you pay more taxes. That is how much tax deduction, that is how much I got as a net, and that is the net year to date. There is a sharp increase here in the net, that is April 2nd, the check, and that is the end of that period. How do you get that much increase? We'll find out. There is some lump sum hourly, $300 paid here for lump sum, and an award of $350, some kind of award, maybe because I was a new hire. So that give you about 700 increase here. Here, as you see, the 401k increased a lot, and the contribution also increased. First week of this period, the miles are as expected, under 2,500 almost. That is the wee miles, layover 5 days. 5 days layover. That is 15 hooks. That is the chain. Putting the chains is about $60 when you put the chains on the tractor. Unscheduled time to arrive, and there's a 14 arrive at the drop. It's a very fat check. That is the second week of that period. That is the miles, 2,500 miles in a week. That is the wee miles. They over 5 days. That is a hook, 10 hooks, 4 unscheduled time, 1 unit live unload, 1 unit live unload. Unscheduled time, not much. Alright, the deductions here, taxes are enormous. $1,000 only in 2 weeks, $1,000.89. That is a gross in these 2 weeks with the award, all this stuff. And that is a gross to date for this year. From that gross, that is how much I got after the deductions, including the 401k. Still have very good check. That is the net after the deductions. On April 16th, that is the end of that period. Here there is another award, $350 for doing something. I forgot what it is. And this is a contribution, the 401k increased also. So the first week in this period, that is the mileage. That is the wee miles. I stayed 5 days in the truck. That is how much you get for the layover. That is the hook, the stop, the live unload, unscheduled time, arrive, and for the arrive and drop 8 units. Second week of that period, the miles are increased a little. That's the wee miles. That's 5 days of layover. That's how much I got paid. 10 hooks, 1 unit here, 4 units here, 1 unit here. So the net for that period was about $4,000. The taxes are still high. This is the current net pay. We are now at the end of April. That is the check of the end of April for the period from April 11 to 24th. And that is how much money I got as a net pay. In the first segment, there is a safety bonus here, $300, and there is 10 units of paid time off. Each unit is $31. You ask yourself, why do we get 31 here, 31.3240, and we have 28 before? This amount of money per hour, this is the rate, remember. This is the rate of the paid time off. This is your rate. That rate is determined by how hard you work. The harder you work, the more of your daily hourly pay is estimated. You multiply the 10 times this number, you get this number. This is the paid time off. 10 units is almost 1 day. Now we go to the first week of this period. This is week number 1. That is the mileage, very little mileage. That is the Walmart mileage. That is the layover only 3 days. Which means I took a day off or something happened. That is the hook. How many hooks I did? 11. How many unscheduled time? 2.92. How many arrival drop? 11. That gives you this much money. This is the first week. The second week. This is the second week. This is the mileage, the Walmart mileage. They lay over 4 days. 13 hooks. That gives you that much money. This amount of money, almost all that you make in any other company in a week. Scheduled time 2.5 units. Each unit is $31. You ask yourself, how do you get 31 here again? Because we already estimated that 31.23 is your daily average pay. So when you have 2.5 hours, that's how much money you get paid. This determines or is determined by how hard you work. So you determined your daily hourly average by the kind of work. This is a live load. This is a unscheduled time about 4 units, and that is 1 arrival. And here is the remaining 15 units of arrival and drop. Each unit is $10.5. That is the total amount of money you get paid for arrival and drop. That is a year to date only for arrival and drop. And that is how much gross I made. The taxes here, as you see, is not bad, and that is the net pay, year-to-date net pay, compared to the year-to-date gross pay. We are now in May 14th paycheck for this period, and that's how much net I got in my deposit. In the first section, you have an award here for $175, and that is all you have in this segment. If you look at the year to date, for the lump sum, that's how much money I got. Awards so far for this year, $875, and the paid time off so far, $3,158. Safety bonus, I got $300 so far. For scheduled time, $199. Meetings, $118. So these numbers are unique to Walmart. Walmart try to comply with the Fair Employment Act. Whatever you work, you're supposed to get paid for it. Are not supposed to be used without getting paid. And this is the 401k, $729.38. First week of this period, that is the mileage, Walmart mileage, layover for 4 days, 9 units of hook, 2 units of live unload, 0.1 unit of unscheduled time, 2 arrival and 1 arrival and drop. Week number 2 of this period, the miles is much better than the week before. Remember here there is an increase in rate. Last year was 47. This year you are getting paid 48 cents per mile, 48.25, and that is Walmart mileage, and that is the layover. That's 5 days. 5 days layover. Each day is $42. 12 hooks times this number, you get 102, and 1.2 unscheduled time, and 15 arrive and the drop. That's how much you get for arrive and the drop. And that is the net, the gross pay. So that's the gross pay for these 2 weeks. The taxes are very hefty. That is the net pay. That is the net to date compared to the gross to date. Remember, we are already in May, in the beginning of May, and that's how much money we made in only 4 months. We make $30,000 4 months, almost about $7,000 a month, almost, or more than that. We are now in the last week of May, that's the check, and that's how much money I made in these 2 weeks. It looks like a better week. The first segment, there is a nice safety bonus. That is $470.02. That's what makes the check a better. And here is the 401k. That's almost the max. 800.20. This is 2 weeks contribution. In the first week of this period, the miles are great. 3,000. 3,000 miles in that week. 3,099. This is how much I made on miles. Miles. Layover. Ooh, that's 7 days living at the truck. That is why I got very good pay. That is how much I made. 8 hooks and 9 arrive at the drop. Unscheduled time 4 point something. The second week of this period, the miles dropped a little. The Walmart miles dropped a little. 4 days layover. 6 hooks. 4 point something unscheduled time. 6 drop arrive at the drop. If you look at the numbers, that's $4,000 in 2 weeks. That's gross. And the taxes are huge. That's taxes for only 2 weeks. And that is the net pay, and that is the net to date. We are now in June 11th. The net pay dropped a little bit. In the first segment, all are zeros. The 401k is not bad, 700. Or the first week, the miles are not bad either, 2,500. The Walmart mileage, 5 layover. That is still huge. Supposed to have only 4. When you stay an extra day, you get paid more. 12 hooks, and the 12 arrive on the drop. On the second week of that period, the miles are great, not very great, but they are good. The layover is 5 days, that's how much you make. 8 hooks, 2 arrive, 6.28 for unscheduled, and 9 arrive at the drop. And that is not bad for 2 weeks. That's the gross for 2 weeks. That is how much we made so far for this year. And the tax deduction are still above normal, and that's how much I got as a gross. Almost at the end of June 25th, the net pay increased a little, or increased a lot. Why? Because we have a lump sum hourly for $300 here, and a beautiful regular earning 485. I don't know what does that mean. What is regular earning? How much money I got here? That is an extra amount of money. That's unusual. A lump sum and the regular. Something is legal about this part. We do something unusual here to pay you a lump sum. The 401k is max 900 401k. 100 in 2 weeks. The first week of that period, the miles are average. The layover 6 days. That is huge. 12 hooks, 13 arrive on the drop. So that is why it is max. So that's a lot. 12 hooks and 13 arrive. The second week of this period, the miles increased a lot. And they still have the layover increased. Hooks are huge. Arrive and drop also is huge. And that is why you get paid very good money. And that is, the taxes now are huge. That's the first time you see $1,108 in 2 weeks taxes only. And that is the net paid for these 2 weeks. And that is the net paid to date for this year. That is the first week of July 2020. That is the average net pay for 2 weeks. So it seems like things back to normal. Everything here is zeroed. Here is the 401k, still not bad. The first week of this period, the miles are average. 5 days in the truck, 5 days layover, 7 hooks, 7 arrive on the drop. The second week of this period, the miles are huge, 3,000. And the layover is 5 days, 8 hooks, and 8 arrive and drop. That is why you got better pay this week, this period. The tax deductions are still high, and that is the net for these 2 weeks. That is a lot of drop. By 23rd, everything here is zeroed. The 401k is back to normal or average. The first week of this period, the miles are high. Not very high, but they are high. 2,700 a week. That's 5 days of layoff. 7 arrive and drop. and 6 hooks. The second week of this period, the miles dropped a little. 4 days layover, that's why the 2 arrive and 3 hooks. The tax is almost under average, and that is why we get a low net pay for these 2 weeks. August 6th, that is a huge drop for the net. Everything here is zeros in this segment. There is a little drop here in the 4. The miles drop a little. 2,000. The hooks are 6. The arrived drops are 7. Everything looks is a single day. Only 4 days of layoff. Could that be the bottom of the year? Sometimes you have few months of the year you don't make too much money. Here is the miles are average, the second week. That's the second week. They increased a little, 2,300. 4 days of layover, 8 hooks, and 8 arrival to drop. That is a low gross their period. It's almost the lowest. And the tax deduction dropped. That's why you get a little amount of money as a net deposit. We are still on the low side. That is August 20th check. We are still low, better than the month before or the week before. Now we have COVID LS, some kind of bonus, $300 for the corona, working during the corona epidemic. And everything else here is zeros. Now we have some confusion here. Let us see what happened to that period. 401k is above average or above minimum. First week of this period, the miles not bad, 2,200 per week. 4 days layover. 7 arrive on the drops and 7 hooks. The second week of this period, the miles are okay. 4 days, 7 arrive on drops and 6 hooks. That is not bad as a gross pay for 2. That's not bad either. That is not bad for the next September 3rd check, under average net pay. Everything here is zero so far, and the 401k is about 600. That's the first week of this period. The miles are not bad. 5 days in the truck, 5 layover, 6 arrive and drop, and 7 hooks. Second week of this period, the miles are above average. 4 days layover, 8, 9. 8 for the hooks and 9 for arrive and drop. You get not a bad pay for 2 weeks. The tax deductions are not bad, and the net pay also is not bad. That is the middle of September 2020. That is a very good net pay. How do you explain it? There is a huge safety bonus, $1,067. That will make a lot of difference. The 401k increased also, $921. Now we are being spoiled with bonuses. The first week of this period, the miles are huge. 2,800 is very good for a Walmart. 5 days of layover, 8 hooks, 7 arrive and drop. As you can see, the cent per mile now doesn't matter a lot because you get other components. That's the second week. The miles are okay. 5 layover, that's been extra work. 4 hooks and 5 arrival. Why do you have little hooks and arrive and drops? Because you're driving a long distance. To Montana, for example, from Salt Lake. That's a very good, decent income for 2 weeks. I'm talking about working hard as a truck driver, making that much in 2 weeks, and you are happy with it. Some people can make it in 1 day, but we work very hard for our money. That's how much taxes I paid, and that is the current net pay for 2 weeks. October 1st, 2020, the net pay dropped a lot, even though there is something here. Parentheses means some safety bonus in parentheses. I think that was taken out by mistake. It was given by mistake, taken out by a notice, because you see a parenthesis. That's the 401k drop. What happened here is that they made a mistake and they paid in the wrong time. Whatever the problem was, going to see now. That is the mileage for this week. The hooks are 6, the arrive and drop 5, and 4 days in the truck layover. Second week, the miles are not bad. 4 days in the truck, 6 hook, and 8 arrive and drop. And that is why you made little money these 2 weeks. The tax deduction dropped, the net dropped. We are now in the middle of October 2020. There is another little bit increase in the net pay, but less than average. Everything here is zeroed, and the 401k increased a little bit more than the previous period. The first week of this period, the miles are average 2200, the hooks are 8, the arrived drops are 7, and there is everything here is in the low numbers. Second week of that period, the miles dropped a little. 4 layover, 6 hook, and 6 arrive at the drop. So that is the average or below average pay for 2 weeks. That is almost the average for tax deduction. And that is the net pay. At the end of October 2020, that is the net pay. Everything here is zeroed. The 401k is still average. The first week of this period, the miles are 2300, almost average. 4 layover, 10 hooks, that is good. 10 arrive and drop, that is good. The second week of this period, the miles are average, the hooks are 2, regional pay is 2 units, $12. Not bad. 6 arrive and drop, that is the average pay. Not low, not high. Taxes are average, net pay is average. November 12, 2020, we are getting out of the hole. We are increasing now, going up a little bit. The net pay. Everything here is zero, but the 401k increased a little bit, which means I just worked hard, or there was enough work to do. The miles are above average, or average, 2400. That is why 5 days layover. That explains why I get more money. 2 life unloads, 10 arrive and drop, that is good. 9 hooks. That is a very good week. Second week of that period, the miles increased 2600. 5 days of work. So we are getting much better now, getting more work. 5 hooks, 6 arrive and the drop. So the average gross is above average. And that's above average tax deduction. And that's why we got back to the average net pay. Now at the end of November 2020, now we are talking money. That's a lot of increase. What is the cause? Everything here is zeroed except we have an award here, $450. And we have a safety bonus here. A nice safety bonus, $844. That's what explains the huge increase for this period. The miles that's the first two. The miles are average, 2300. 6 layover, that is huge. 10 arrive and drops and 10 hooks. That is a very rich week. That's a lot of work for one. The second week, this period, the miles dropped a lot. The layover also dropped, which means I took a day off. And the arrive and drop dropped. Look at that day, that's almost $5,000. That's because of the bonus. And there is increase in the tax deduction. And there is a lot of increase in the net pay of 2 weeks. We are in December 10th, 2020, going back to average now. 1800 in 2 weeks as a net. Everything here is zeroed, except there is an award here. This award means I worked an extra day when they needed me. But there is another award here. It's a huge award. That's 50 hours. Each hour $33. Remember here, because I worked hard in the few months before. So my average hourly pay now increased to $33.65 for 50 hours of paid time off. That's $1,682.55 for that year, that whole year now, 2020 until that date. I already made $5,000 or $5,848 on the PTO, paid time off. What happened in this first week? The miles dropped a lot. Only 2 days layover. So when I took 3 days, 5 hooks and 4 arrive and drop. The week after that, the miles dropped a lot. I have only 3 layover, 5 hooks, 6 arrive. Because I took too many days off, they have to pay me for the paid time off. And that's how much money I made this average. That is the taxes, tax deductions, and that is the net pay. Almost the end of 2020, that is the net pay, which is above average. We have a COVID bonus here, $300 for the Corona incentive. Everything here is zero, and that's the 401k. Not bad, above average. There is another 100 hours of paid time off. That's I took the whole time off. 100 hours, $33.5 per hour because I increased my work. That's how much money I got, $3,035. Pay attention to this beautiful number. That is a fantastic. This is how much paid time off you get from work. This is the time, that is paid time. You can take it off or you can sell it. So in 1 year, I already got the $9,198 paid time off. I spent this money with my niece on the beach for almost a month. So the first week, I did not work. The second week, I did not work. So I took 2 weeks off here. So here I took 2 weeks off. I got paid $3,650 for the paid time. That is the best thing about Walmart. And I am still a new employee so far. Paid a lot of taxes. That is the net for that time. For the whole year, that is the number that you need to remember that. So far, 2020, I made $90,000 and 554 and 39 cents. That is first year. Question everybody asks about Walmart. How much money can you get paid per year? Here is your number, 90,000 for this year. Out of this 90,000, I take 3 weeks off. We are now in January 7, 2021. We are back to work now, no holidays anymore. Getting slowly back to the average or below average net pay. I am back to work. They paid me 20 hours here for paid time off, each hour $32.84. That is the net for the paid time off. For the first week, I only have 2 days, worked for 2 days. That's why the mileage is low. I have 5 hooks and 4 arrive and drop. Because I'm coming back from vacation, this is my first full week of work. There is 4 days of work here, layover, 12 arrive and drop, and 12 hooks, so are back to normal. This is below average gross income for 2 weeks, but we are back to normal. So that is the new year. So far, this is how much taxes I paid. So far, this is the net pay. We are now in January 21st, 2021. This year, we are getting back above the bottom for the net pay. 1,800 in 2 weeks. That is above the minimum. We have an award here for working overtime, $175, and the 401k is average, and the miles are average for the first week. That's the first. We have 10 arrived drops, 10 hooks. Second week, the miles increased above normal, 2,500. For Walmart, that is good. That's a lot. 5 days of work, 5 days layover means I work 6 days. Remember, when you have 5 days, the day you go home is not a layover. That is the hooks, and that is the arrival drops, and everything here in the single unit. And that is not bad for 2 weeks. The taxes are increased, and that is the net pay. We are now on February 4th, 2021. We have a drop in the net pay. In this period, everything is zeroed. We are back to the average in the 401k. First week of this period, the miles are average, 4 layover, 11 hook, 12 arrival at the drop. Second week, the miles increase, and the layover is normal, 4 days per week. 6 hooks and 6 arrival at the drop. That is just below average. The gross pay is below average in 2 weeks. That is an average. And that is an average. Tax deduction and the net pay. As you see, the trend repeats itself. We have increased now in the net pay. That is February 18th. Why do you have increased? There is a safety bonus here. That is 40 hours of safety bonus. That is a lot of hours. That is $1,318 safety bonus. That is a decent increase in income. As you can tell, Walmart's very tricky. Try to make you as happy as possible so you never quit driving. The miles are low. There's only 2 days of layover, which means I only work 3 days. That is low. That's, I think, let us see why they paid me so. The second week, the miles are under average. There are 4 days of layover. The arrives are low, and the hooks are low. But we made very good money. Why? Because of the bonus was huge. Safety bonus, the tax deduction are high, and you don't like the drop. Here is another drop in March 4th. We have a drop in the net pay. Why is a drop? Everything here is zero. That is the minimum 401k or above the minimum. First week, the miles drop. 4 days of layover. And there is a hook here. Remember, here is a regional pay. A regional means you work in a strange region. There is a scheduled time and the chain. Whenever you have chains, means you work in the snow. $60 for the second week of that period. The miles are still low. 4 days of layover, 10 hooks, and 11 arrivals. So the drop is just the minimum. The minimum gross in these 2 weeks. That is the minimum for the taxes, and that is almost the minimum for the net pay. We are now on the upside, March 18th, 2021. Got increase here. That's a lot of increase in the net. Why do you have increase? Because we have a bonus here for working an extra day, $175, and they have a safety bonus here for $719. That is a huge bonus also. That is very tricky. And here's the 401k is going high. I cannot say anything bad about Walmart now. Now we have another nice trick here. The mileage increase 50 cents per mile. 50 cents, 5.50 cents per mile. So we are getting close to Creed's value plus the other benefit. 4 days layover, we have 9 arrive and drop, and the hook is 10. See, there is a lot of here live load, live unload, which means I started working for the grocery Walmart. I usually work for the general merchandising Walmart. The second week, the miles increased a lot. It's a nice rate. The layover is 5. So that is a very fruitful week. 11 hooks, 11 arrival drop. This is the best week so far. Almost since the beginning of my employment. That is the best week. $4,522 in 2 weeks is not bad. That's why you see everything increased a lot. That's how much taxes I paid, and that is the net pay for my deposit. We are now in April 1st, 2021. We're getting back to the average net pay. Why it is averaged? There are no bonuses here. And that goes back to the average, the 401k. The mileage increased 2,500. There is 4 days of layover, 6 hooks, 6 arrive and drop. There is a lot of life unload. Regular regional pay, 2 stops. The second week, the miles are average 24. 4 days of layover, 8 hooks, 8 arrive and drops. That is average pay. Not low, not high. You are in the average tax payment, you are in the average net pay. The middle of April 2021, we're going under the average net pay now. Everything here is zeroed, and that is average for 401k contribution. The first week of this period, the miles are perfect, 25 pounds. 6 days of hook. 4 days of layover, 6 units of hook, and 7 units of arrival and drop. Second week of that period, the miles are added. 4 days of layover, 7 hooks, and 6 arrival and drop. The pay is average, not low, not high, and that's also average, and the contribution, tax contribution is average. The end of April 2021, we are on the average trend so far. Everything is average when you have no bonus, and the 401k is average. So the miles here are not high, but not very low, 2200. 4 days of layover, 10 hooks, and 10 arrive and drop. The second week of this period, the miles are average. The 4 days of layover, 15 hooks, that's a lot. 15 arrive and drop, that is a lot. That is an average gross pay. 15 means you are driving a lot in towns, and you short distance and you go back to the beach, and that is average tax contribution, and that's average net pay. May 13, 2021, we are on the average side. As expected, everything is zero here when you have average. The 401k is still average, $681. First week, that period, the miles drop. 3 days of layover means I worked only 4 days. 6 arrive and drop, 7 hooks. The second week of that period, the miles increased 2,600 in that week. 4 of layover, 7 hooks, and 7 arrive and drop. That's a very simple week. Simple means you have very long trips. You did not stop a lot in the stores. It kept driving. That is why you made almost average pay for simple work. The tax deductions are average and the net is average. May 27, 2021, we are going high now, above average. Why it is above average? Because we have a safety bonus here, $800.69. And the 401k is getting up, not maximum but above average. The miles increased 2,500 of 4 days of layover. We have hooks 7, 8 arrive and drop. There is a live load, and that is it. The week after, second week of that period, the miles stayed in the average 2,400. 4 days of layover, 11 hooks still arrive at the drops. 1 live unload. That is a very decent return because of the bonus increased it that much above average, and that increased a lot tax contribution. That's why you have a very decent net pay. We are now on June 10th, 2021, and that is above average. Everything here is zero. It means I worked hard and get no bonuses. And the 401k is above average. The first week, the miles dropped 20,000, but we have layover more. Why do you have layover, more layover, and little miles? Figure out. Because you have 11 hooks, and the 11 arrive on the drop, and the 2 arrive. 1 live on the second week of that period, 4 layover, 4 hooks, $2 for regional pay, 1 live unload, 1 live load, 3 drop. It's a complicated week, very complicated week. You can beat the average. That's not low but not high. That's also average tax deduction. We are now June 24, 2021, a little bit above average net pay. Everything here is zeroed. 401k almost above average. The miles increased a lot, 2,600. 4 days layover, 13 hooks. 12 arrive at the drop, and 1 arrives. The second week also is not bad. The miles are still high. 4 days of that's a very hard week. 11 hooks and the 9 arrive at the drop. That is why you made an average, because you're working hard with a simple program, a simple plan. Simple means you don't keep stopping, you keep going, keep driving. That's an average tax deduction. That's an average net pay. We're now on July 8th, 2021. There is a little drop below the average, the net pay. A drop means you have no bonuses here. That goes to the average, the 401k. First week, the miles dropped. 4 days of layover. 6 hooks. 6 arrive and drop. 3 live. Live unload will kill you because it takes too much time to do the live unload. The second week of that period, remember, live unloads means that you are going to stop and go inside the store and wait for things to be unloaded, and the money is not going to waste too much time in live load and unload. That is the mileage average. 4 days layover, 7 hooks, 7 arrive on the drop, 3 live unload. That's why we got a little bit under average gross pay. And the taxes are under average. Not very low. In July 22nd this year, we are still on the average or under average. Everything here is zero. The 401k is average. The miles are average, 2,400. 5 days layover. That means working for 6 days. 6 drops and 6 hooks. The second week of that period, that is a good mile, 2,500. That's 4 days of layover. 7 hooks and 7 arrive at the drop. So you're getting the average. That is a very average pay for 2 weeks. That's average tax deduction, and that's average net pay. We are in August 5th, 2021. We're getting above the average now. As expected, the above the average, a very nice COVID bonus. $500 for a COVID bonus for this year. Everything else is zeroed, and the 401k still average. Little bit above average. The first week, the miles are average. 4 days of layover, 14 hooks, that is a lot. And the 14 arrive on the drop. That is a simple program. That means you stop and go, drop and hook, and leave. As you can see here, there is only unscheduled time 2.84. Everything else is drop and hook. The second week will explain to you. The miles are average. This is the second week. It's 5 days layover. which means 6 days of work. Here you have 8 hooks, 1 stop, 1 regional pay, which means I worked in another region, and 2 live unloads, and the 8 arrive at the drop. We got paid above average, $3,989 and 56 cents. That increased above average tax deduction. That increased a lot above average because of the bonus. Now back below average. It's August 18th this year. That is going below average, the net pay. Why below average? There is no bonuses here. And that goes below average, the 401k. But the miles first week, miles increased 2,600. That's a lot of miles. For 5 days layover, which means I worked 6 days. I worked a lot. 7 arrive and drop and 7 works. The other units are very little money. The second week of that period, the miles dropped a lot. So drop. It's 4 days of layover. Arrive dropped 9 and hook 9. Get under average bi-weekly pay. That's under average but not low. That's under average but not low. September 2nd, 2021, we got high, very high on the net pay. Why it is high? Because you have a very decent safety bonus here. That is $1,000 and $1,005.22, and there's a 401k increase, not a lot, but increased above average. First week, the miles dropped. 4 days of layover, 10 hooks, and the 10 drops. Of course, if you don't get the safety bonuses, you are not going to get this kind of pay. Unscheduled time, not bad, $14. Regional pay, not bad, $12. The second week, the miles went back to normal, 2,500. But that took 5 days of layover. 9 hooks and the 9 arrive and drop. That's, we have a decent pay here because of the safety bonus, $4,339 in 2 weeks. The tax deduction increased above average, and the net pay increased above average. That is my last check with Walmart, September 16, 2021. That is above average net pay. The reason it is above average, there is an award here, $350 award. And the 401k increased above average. First week, the miles are not bad. We have 6 hooks. Where is the layover? 7 days layover. That means I did not go home. That is a California week. I have to work in California non-stop. So I got the bonus for that. 6 arrive and drop. The second week, the miles are increased a lot. Layover 5, which means I took only 1 day off. 5 layover means 6 days of the working and 5 days sleeping in the truck. 8 hooks and 10 arrive and drop, and 6 unscheduled time. 0.5 of training. The training you get paid. Look at this number to remember. This is now how much I make per hour. $34.44, because I increased the volume of my work. That's why you get paid very good money for that week. The tax deductions are high and the net pay is high. We are now at Walmart's spreadsheet. I filled all the cells for the data from September 5th, 2018 until September 16, 2021. That is the gross pay, that is the state tax, that is the federal withholding, that is the year-to-date gross, that is the federal insurance, social security, and that's the Medicaid and Medicare. So we need to do the averaging and statistical analysis like we did before with other carriers. So here is your gross income every 2 weeks. So I need to come here, this cell, and I need to see how much money I made all these weeks. How many weeks are they? 54 double. 54 double weeks, which means 108 weeks in the 2 year and something. So you come here and you go to the function line, you say equal, and you sum, you are going to sum that column. Now I do it manually because I remember it, sum from number so and number so. What do you want to sum 4 to 4? I can write it. Let me just put it from the sheet. From here, that is number 1, you hold the shift. Hold the shift with the other finger to here. Look, read carefully in the top here. That is sum P2 column P56. Then you close the parentheses and you enter. That is how much money I made, $185,791 so far in this 1 and 8 week. And come in this cell, it says the sum of everything.
I'm going to spoil this line. This whole line I'm going to give it a bold, and I'm going to change the color of the cells, of the background, make it orange.
That is the sum. We need now to expand this function all over these lines. Except this line I don't need, the gross income. I don't need to sum it because it is linear gross. We don't need that.
So why can't I get that, and that, and that? Seems like I have to go back here. I tell you something, I can take all these cells and make it format the cell and make the numbers. Yeah.
Now it works. Perfect. We can talk now. Now we can talk analysis. This is how much money I made in 108 weeks. This is how much money the state took, $7,768 in that period. And this is how much money the federal government took or withdraw, $21,567 or $68. This is how much money the Social Security Administration took, 11,000. This is how much money the Medicaid and the Medicare took, 2,000. So let us now go to the percentage, and that here we are going to do the percentage of the total. Suppose that total is 100%. How much is the percentage of the taxes? So we come to this cell, go to the function line, and you get your number, the cell, divided by 185,791.85. Enter. This is the percentage. I need to multiply that by 100. So I'm going to come here and multiply by 100. That is the percentage taken by the state. It's as expected. So we come here and stretch, expand it this way. Don't need this number. And we are going to come to this line and spoil the line. Let's color this line another color. So 4%, 4.8% of your money goes to the state. 11.6% goes to the federal government. 6% goes to the Social Security. 1.4% goes to the Medicare and the Medicaid. So what is the total of the percentage of the deductions? You come to this cell, you wanted to sum all your deductions, the percentage, and you say equal in the function line, sum. You wanted to sum all this line from here, shift to here, and you close the parentheses and say go. That is, we did that before with other companies. So that is the percentage of your income that's taken by everybody. 23%, 0.35 taken by the state, the federal government, the Social Security, and the Medicare and the Medicaid. So now you wanted to see how much money you make per week. This is the sum of percentages. So weekly, how much money would you make to come at this unit? You say equal at the function line, and that is the total I made for all this period. And you divide that by 108, 108 weeks. Say equal. So that is exactly what we need to look for. That will answer all your questions. This fantastic number, $1,720 average pay every week based on 108 weeks of solid data. This is data are not hypothetical. This is real data. With Walmart, you make $1,720 per week. Remember, you make this money and not home with your children or your wife. So this is not a job for somebody who has a wife and the children. Of course, a lot of people have wives and the children. Just have to understand the sacrifice. You're making this money by sleeping in the truck 5 days. I remember a lady in a bank asked me how much money you make a year. So I said 90,000 or 100,000. She was shocked. How comes you make that much money in truck, and if you work in the bank you're not going to make over 15,000 or 20,000? Then she asked me, do you sleep in that little in the truck? I said yes. She said no, I'm not going to do that. But she likes the money, yes, but you do not like to sit in a truck, or some people don't like to sit in a truck to make that kind of money. That's in addition, if your education is mediocre, or you don't have background in fitness, or you don't know how to eat right, or you don't know how devastating it can be when you sit on a seat for 10 hours, driving can destroy your organs, your heart, your kidney, your knees, your back, and your mental state. So driving is not really for everybody. You have to know how to survive and be happy when you are alone in a very stressful job. Let us now go to the curve analysis. So we need to make the curve for the daily and the weekly. Let me go back again and insert worksheet. Where is the worksheet? It's right here. We are going to call it Walmart weekly. We're going to go back to Walmart, click on this column, and we are going to insert a chart. The chart will be this kind. I want it to be this kind, scattered, connected. Next, let's create a chart. I have to adjust it from 2, not from 1, B2, and that have to be 56, not 80, be 56. Yes, that is exactly what I think. This is
bi-weekly gross pay. And the x-axis is the bits. The y-axis is the gross pay in dollars. And we are going to spoil. Where do you want it? I want it in the Walmart weekly. Finished.
That's what I needed to see. So like that, I am going to change that axis source of data, the series. Here we are going to put.
You can either copy. This is a new trick I learned a long time ago when I learned how to do the Excel. You come here and you change that way. You can copy it, or you can do it the other way. Let me see how I do it that way. Here is the way I do it. And here I can come here to measure the axis. The scale, I'm going to make it 14. And it's going to be minor and major. Minor, major, minor, major.
Let me just see that way. The alignment is going to be this way. You see, perfect. That is great. What happened to these units? Yeah, because there is something wrong here.
That is wrong. That is wrong. Yeah, that is wrong. Now, one more thing. Perfect. That is the way.
Here is the difference between Walmart and everybody else. That is 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. The average falls in that area. That's every 2 weeks, between $3,000 and $4,000 every 2 weeks. This is your average. Now let us go to the second curve, the gross income. This is the gross income, and I needed to insert a chart. The chart is XY scatterer. That is your chart. That is this way. The series. Now I can play this. This I need to change to 56. 56. And this is 2. Perfect. And the x-axis will be the, to come here, copy this line. We need to copy from here. That's good. That's what I need.
That is here to get gross. That is bits. X-axis is the bits. y-axis is gross. Year to date in dollars. I want that somewhere else. One more quick.
Perfect.
Now I need to take that down. And I'm going to expand a little. Now we can begin with that formatting the axis. I need to make that format 40 and the alignment this way. Scale is okay. Crossing the x-axis. Leave that for now. And I can format it more. Perfect. Y-axis. Format y-axis. Y-axis I wanted to start from 0. We'll leave that for now. Let us see now. Short option. Grades. Yes, major grades. Main minor.
Perfect. Now, in the year, that is a full year. It started from January 1st, 2020 to December 2020. As you see, the end of the year, I made almost $90,000. Let us take it from July 8th. That is July 8th. And here, that's July 8th. They make the same amount of money. In the middle of July, you're making about $45,000 a year. That is the amount of money that you make by this time of the year. That should do it. Let us take an example here. Let's follow this line 60,000 to here. This one point right here. And the other point is right here. And let us click on that point. What is $60,000 on the same 2 years? 1 year is the 20th and the other year is the 20th. So what is the date on each of these values? I made the 60,000 on September 3rd, 2020. September 3rd, remember. This is 6,000 here, September 3rd, 2020. Here, August 19th, 2021. This is August 19th, 2021. Which means in the year 2020, by the beginning of September, I already got $60,000. The following year, I was able to make the $60,000 2 weeks earlier.